Hello and welcome to the transcription explanation of this design. My goal for this design was to make something sleek and simple for a tattoo and have lots of empty space between the lines so that nothing would bleed and blur together and make it illegible and kind of muddy looking. I'm really happy with the results. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about how to read this. So this is the key to the script, and you'll notice it's set up like a grid where we have a combination of modifiers at the bottom and then stems across the side. And then you make the letters by combining the stems and the modifiers. So a deep divot shape, this stem, with no modifiers would be like a B, but then you add 2 dots to it and it's a CH. You add 3 lines to it instead of 3 dots and it's an F, and so on and so forth. Vowels are these smaller circles, and in this design I actually made all the vowels the same size. You don't need to do that so long as they're smaller than the consonants. You can tell what's a consonant and what's a vowel because the vowels are smaller. Okay, so let's go ahead and start reading this and talk about sentence order and word order and letter order. It's all the same, it's all bottom counterclockwise, and this is a very typical design set up in a circle. So you read the words bottom counterclockwise, and we read the letters in the words bottom counterclockwise. So this is our first word at the bottom here, and this is our first letter. It doesn't have to start right at the bottom, so long as it's the first letter you've hit going counterclockwise, it's the first letter. And it's a little circle, so it's a vowel. And it's on the line of the word circle. That means it's an E, I, or U. So the E position is that base central position, and I's and U's have line modifiers. An I has a line going inwards towards the center of the word circle, whereas a U has a line going outwards. So that makes this the letter I, and then since that's the only letter in this word circle, it's the word I. Continuing around, here's our next word. Even though it's nestled inside this word, it's still the next one you hit going bottom counterclockwise. So this is our next word, and the bottom of it's here. Here's our first letter, and it's another little circle, but it's located outside the word circle. So that makes it the letter A, outside the word circle. And then we continue around, and here's our next letter. This is a circle inside the word circle, like this, and it has some line modifiers. So even though this line continues and looks like it passes through, it ends here and it ends here. So that counts for 2, and then the third line is here. So 1, 2, 3 lines end on this letter stem. So it being in line doesn't matter. It counts every time it ends on that letter stem. So 1, 2, 3 lines make that the letter M. So this is the word am, A-M. And our next word is this big one here. Here's our first letter. And like I said, lines ending on the stem count, and that means lines passing through the stem don't count. So none of these lines count on this stem because nothing ends on it. And in fact, there are no modifiers on this stem, so that makes it just the letter B. So this is B, continuing around. Here we have another little circle, so that's a vowel, and it's got a line on it, and that line is radiating outwards, away from the center of the word circle, so that's the letter U. Now we have a shallow divot, so that's this stem, with 1, 2, 3 dot modifiers, making it an R. So 3 dots, shallow divot, R. Continuing around, here's our next letter. So even though it's kind of more towards the middle than this M is, it's where I had space to put it, plus I wanted this in line. Anyway, it's still on this position going around the word circle, so this is the next letter we see. And it has 1 line ending on it and a line passing through, but again, lines passing through don't count, but the 1 line ending on it makes it an N. So N, and then we have the I line going towards the center of the word circle, because this is going more towards the outside, this is going more towards the middle, so this is an I. So N, I, and then we have our last letter, which has 1, 2, 3 lines on a circle on the line of the word circle. So it's this stem. So that's an NG. So B-U-R-N-I-N-G. Oh, I forgot to talk about enclosed vowels. So even though this I is on the line of the word circle, this I is enclosed inside the N. So when you have a vowel enclosed inside a consonant, you go to the consonant you're working with, which is an N. And if it were to have an I, it'd have a little circle inside the word circle, because that's this center position. And it has a line going towards the center of the word circle. So here's an I there. So burning, burning, and then our next word, bottom, U, just like that, U, and then we have this letter, and it's important that this line ends on the word circle, not on the letter. If this were to continue through, we'd have another M, but because it doesn't continue through, we have two lines, making it a P. So up, here's our next word, no letters until finally here's the letter A, that is the word and then we have this word. Here we have something kind of different as well. It's a shallow divot stem, so this stem, but we have these curvy lines. And it's okay that these lines curve and make a circle. Lines can curve. That's why I have them curved in the guide here. They don't have to be straight. So 1, 2, 3 lines make that the letter S. So S, 1, 2, 3 lines on the S. Here's the U line going outwards, just like these U's. And then we have the letter N with 1 line on it, just like this letter N with 1 line. So N is 1 line, P is 2 lines, and M is 3 lines. Anyway, so N-I, and then N, no vowel. So this is S-U-N. So sun. And then we have our next word, bottom here. Here's our first letter. There are no line modifiers on this stem, so that makes it a J, because this passes through. This is another U, even though it's not on the line of the word circle, it still goes more outwards than inwards. If we were to take like a concentric circle around the middle of our word, if the line started on the middle of that, it would be an I, because it starts on the outside of that, it's a U. Anyway, so J, U. It's also important that this line ends on the word. If we were to continue through, you'd have another letter N, so it's always important when the lines end. So N, this is a J, U, and then we have another S, 1, 2, 3 lines on it, done the same way as this S with 1, 2, 3. And then another T, shallow divot, no modifiers. So just, here's another letter T, and then here's a little O hanging out inside the word circle. So 2, here's another 1, 2, 3 line S. I like doing my S's this way to kind of fill up the negative space and not clutter the design with too many lines going everywhere. So S, A, outside the word circle, just like that A and that A. Then here's a circle on the line, just like this one, and it has 1, 2 dots closest to it. Even though there's more dots in this little pattern, there's another Y right here, actually, and these 2 dots are closer to it. So these 2 dots go here, these 2 dots go here. So S-A-Y, because Y has 2 dots. So say, and then our very last word is here, bottom of the word circle is here. It's a deep divot with 1 line on it, so that makes it a G. And now we have a double line. These 2 concentric circles mean that it's a double letter. So this is a double O because it's in the O position. So you can just double up the line of a letter and it's a double letter. So G double O, and then we have a deep divot with 1, 2, 3 dots, making it a D. Then we have a deep divot with no modifiers, so that's a B. Then we have the other Y, and then an E. So G double O D B Y E, goodbye. So I am burning up a sun just to say goodbye. So yeah, that's that design. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I hope you like it too.